Hello and welcome to Learning with Lovo. Welcome to part 5 in this rotary wing deep dive. In this, the penultimate video, I will go over some methods of approaching a landing spot and landing. A landing spot can be a lot of things. A helipad, a runway where you hover taxi away, a field, or even a frigate. Let's get started. Approach and transition. In the same way going from hover to flight is a transition, going from flight to hover is too. Let's first go over the approach methods and then look at how we transition to a hover. We always want to perform our final into the wind. Speak to the ATC, look for a windsock, or check for smoke to tell you about the wind direction. Standard approach. This is the approach you'll be making the most use of. In a lot of ways, this is the same as an airfield pattern. You can fly from the upwind if you like, but that's just normal flight and turn. So let's pick it up at the downwind. We're on the downwind about 70 knots at about 500 feet. You picked a landing spot. If this is a runway, you could land at any point, but let's pick the 1,000 foot markers. Level with that point is called the 180, as we have 180 degrees left to turn. We also have the 90 halfway through the turn. At the 180, start a balanced descending turn. We're aiming to hit the 90 at 300 feet, though 750 to 1,000 feet per minute should do. Use this list. Power, pedal, pause, trim, turn. Power means to lower collective for the rate of descent. Pedal means to maintain balanced flight with less power pedal. Pause means wait a few seconds to ensure your settings are correct. Trim means to trim out your current cyclic pressure. I often continue without this though. Turn means to turn into the approach. As you get closer to the 90, ensure you are maintaining the rate of descent and are going to hit 300 feet soon. You should be slowing as you go. Aim for about 60 knots at the 90. Now we're at the 90, so we should be at 60 knots and 300 feet. Continue past the 90 to intercept the final course. We want to align with the glide path with about 700 feet to go, 150 feet altitude, and about 50 knots airspeed. This is just safely fast enough that we don't lose translift. Continue down with collective controlling descent rate and cyclic controlling forward speed, pedals maintaining heading. We want a glide slope of about 10 to 20 degrees. As we approach the landing spot, we continue to slow and descend into our chosen transition. We'll come to this later. The 360 degree approach. This spiral approach keeps you moving a bit more on the way in. It starts lower and does not descend until final. Fly over your landing point upwind at 150 feet and 80 knots. Start a turn between 30 and 60 degrees angle of bank to arrive at the 180 at about 850 feet abeam. Continue and slow to 70 knots at the 90. Continue and slow to about 50 knots as you approach the final heading. Start a 10 to 20 degree glide slope and use your desired transition. Let's have a look at the transitions to hover now. Most of the time we will fully transition to hover and then later land. However, there are other methods. Transition to hover. Transitioning to hover means slowing to a halt whilst maintaining hover altitude at about 10 feet. This means exiting translift speeds, so power usage will go way up, so pedal usage will go way up. Slowing needs a nose up with a lowering of collective. More collective will be needed as we slow, and less airflow comes into the bottom of the rotor disc as we will lose translift. As we slow, the lifting effect of the flare reduces, so we add collective and cyclic forwards. We use yaw pedals throughout to maintain heading and start our hover scan. As we enter ground effect, we will settle at the height our power level balances at. Therefore, to continue a descent, we will need to gently reduce collective. Come to a halt and maintain hover altitude. You can now either hover taxi away or gently reduce collective to descend to the ground. Upon contact with the ground, firmly and smoothly drop the collective all the way down. That's it, you've landed. Other landings. Sliding landing. These are typically for lower available power situations when hovering isn't an option, though you could choose to perform one of these if you are under fire and don't want to hang around. Follow the approach procedures of your chosen approach, and when on final, keep your forward airspeed around 15 knots. Take extra care ensuring you are lined up straight with your direction of travel. You really want your skids to land straight on. Maintain this speed and smoothly lower the collective all the way down to touchdown. Continue to use pedals to slide true. how fast you lower the collective now dictates how far you will slide. When you've stopped, fully lower the collective. No hover landings. For the same reasons as performing a no hover takeoff, you may want to perform a no hover landing, i.e. a lot of loose dust or snow could result in rotor wash blinding you. Utilize your normal approach procedures. As you are on short final and approaching ground effect, let your airspeed dwindle to low or none at all while using the collective to continue a slow descent. Carefully and slowly continue this to touchdown on your landing spot with little or no forward speed. Slope landings. There may come a time when you need to land on a slope. This may be inserting or picking up troops or some damage causing you to need to land. I would encourage landing nose uphill, as this will prevent your tail hitting the ground before your landing gear does. The key to a sloped ground landing is ensuring the rotor disc remains horizontal throughout. This will involve cyclic input to oppose the pitch of the aircraft as it settles onto the ground. If you run out of cyclic travel or just do a bad job, abandon the attempt, because doing it poorly will result in you sliding down the slope. If you make it to complete undercarriage contact, continue to carefully lower the collective and use the pedals to cancel out any yaw. It might be the case that you can't fully lower the collective without sliding, so you may have to do a small hover to maintain position while troops load or unload. Reverse this process to take off from a slope. Set the disc as horizontal as you can. If you can remember the setting when you landed, even better. Slowly add collective, and should the helo start to move as your ground friction reduces, lower the collective, apply cycling pedals to compensate for what you just found, and retry. If you chose to land nose downhill, you could keep the disc slightly forward and perform a sort of no hover takeoff as you slide downhill, but you better have a perfect rollout area ahead of you and great pedal control. There you have it, that's part 5 of my rotary wing deep dive, and the final one on helo standard or basic practices. The next one will be focused on helicopter combat. Thanks for watching, Learning with Lovo.